Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to have a little bit of fun doing a full face of Chanel favorites. I included my favorites from the 2022 launches, but I also realized that I have a lot of Chanel classics that I can't live without, so this is just going to be like a full face of Chanel favorites, including some of the launches from 2022. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look using my favorites from Chanel, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we are going to have a little fun playing with some of my favorite Chanel products. There is several in here that were launched in 2022, but to be honest, I have a lot of classic Chanel products that I just really love better than some of the new launches. So I'm going to just do a full face of my favorites, and I will mention the ones that were 2022 favorites. So we're going to start with complexion, and I actually have a lot of Chanel foundations that I absolutely love, but the standout product for me, which is a complete favorite, was the launch of the #1 de Chanel foundation. I literally think this is one of my ultimate favorite foundations ever. This is definitely in my top 5 of all foundations. It is just a beautiful finish on the skin. It is going to look very natural but give you a nice medium coverage. It is slightly radiant, just that I like, but it's not overly dewy. And then my favorite combination is adding in 1 pump of the Le Beige. These are the Sheer Healthy Glow Highlighting Fluid Drops. I have this in Sunkissed as well as Pearly Glow, and I like to do a pump and a pump of each of these, and I just feel like it is the most beautiful finish on the skin. So I'm going to do that today, and I love this one in Sun-Kissed, but as we're coming into the winter months, I switch over to the Pearly Glow. So you can wear the Sun-Kissed ones year-round. I just find that I like the Pearly Glow for the winter months. So I'm going to take 1 pump. That's what it looks like. And then 1 pump of my #1. And I have this in the shade BR32. And then I will just mix those together. And that is probably why I like Chanel complexion products so much, because the BR32 is pretty much a great match for my skin. Like, that's the one that I use like when you're trying to do foundation matches. The BR32 is the one that I will plug in for a match. And I was matched to that from a global makeup artist, and I just felt like he had it spot on, because we were gonna go with like B20, I think, or maybe even B30, and he was like, nope, you need the beige rose. You have more of a cool undertone, and it also matches with my neck that pulls a little bit more red. So it just makes it easy for me to pick the complexion products. And I did find that in the #1 de Chanel that it was just a hair lighter than the other BR32s, but just a teeny bit. But I actually thought that it was like the perfect match. So if you are one of my skin twins, that is what I use. BR32, the beige rose 32 in Chanel. Okay, next product was a surprise hit for me, and this is the Chanel, the Sublimage Le Correcteur Yeux, And I almost passed on this because it is a very pricey concealer, but guess what? I love it. It is really that good, and a teeny weeny bit goes a long way. So this is basically a tinted concealer in their Sublimage eye cream. So it sort of makes sense that it's so expensive, but it definitely is great for more mature skin, under eye area, very brightening. And I ended up picking this one up in B20. There was a part of me that thought I should just buy BR32 as well, because I think they created the concealer to be a bit lighter anyhow than the shades in the foundation. So this is a fantastic concealer, and I do even like the brush that comes with the concealer. I am washing it at the moment, so I'm going to be using my Sephora number 57. This is a fantastic concealer brush, but the Sublimage does come with a very nice brush that I do use. I was just cleaning it, so I'm going to place a little bit of this concealer right here. I like to do a little bit over here, and then I kind of highlight just a little bit down my nose. And honestly, I put too much on my brush. That is how intense this concealer is. And okay, it is just super hydrating, super brightening, and for someone who does not really love concealer, I actually really like this concealer because it feels like it is a treatment for the eye area. I also like it because you can kind of highlight around the face, and it does provide me with some very nice coverage. So I'm really glad that I picked up that concealer, and although this is a pricey concealer, I literally think it's going to last like a whole year because you need to use the littlest amount. Okay, next I'm going to warm up my skin, and we're going to be using a product that they launched a new color in. So the iconic Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream has been a long time favorite, even in the original shade. But this past year they launched the Soleil Tan Medium Bronze. That is number 392, and I personally love the medium shade even better than the original. I find it to be a bit more neutral, and the way that I like to use this is using a synthetic brush. I'm using my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Complexion brush, and what I like to do is just do a swirl just like this, and then I am going to just run a little bit of this bronzing cream kind of in that 3 right here, and it just is going to give my skin a little bit of warmth but just look sort of natural. And I find myself leaning on the bronzing cream year round, but a lot during the winter months because I find that this looks a little bit more natural for my skin in the winter months, because I'm not really in the sunshine much living in the Pacific Northwest. So this just sort of warms up my skin, but it doesn't look like I am totally fake tanning here. Two products that I feel like don't get a lot of love are the Chanel cream blushes as well as the Sculpt or the highlighting stick, and I really think they are amazing, but I do think that Chanel powder blushes probably get a little bit more press because they really are great. And I'm going to use a little bit of the cream and the powder today. I actually love these cream products. I think I'm almost down to the itty bitty end of this tube cream blush. I believe these are like the Healthy Glow cream blushes. And I'm just going to go ahead, pop a little bit of this pink on the tops of my cheeks. I just kind of dab it in and then we will blend it out. They just blend like a dream and they just start to give my complexion a little bit of oomph. So I will just kind of pat this in. I love them because they're sort of sheer like watercolor blushes, so they look really pretty and natural on the skin. And then oftentimes I will kind of top it off with my favorite blush from Chanel in the powder formula. But there's often days where I will just wear the cream products. But today we're going to kind of layer on a little bit of color, but I just think that is so pretty. And then I will take the highlighting stick. This one's in Sculpt. I have it in Rosé as well, which I do really like, but I find that I use the Sculpt the most. And I will just put that on the high parts of my cheek. And these are just really pretty. They make your skin look kind of fresh and they make your skin just look super healthy. So I will just take that. And then what I'll do is sort of let all the complexion products sink in while I do my eyes. Now I pulled out my two favorite limited edition eye quads from this past year. And the first one that I just fell in love with was the Mediterranean. I just love this palette so much. This was launched during the summer months and I loved pairing this with the intense teal eyeliner. I just love that look so much, or my favorite eyeliner in Marine. And this is just one of my favorite palettes ever. I find it to be so pretty on the eye, so versatile. And I don't know if you can see on camera, but this one is very well loved and well worn. So this would be one of my favorites. And then they launched the Tweed collection. And the one that I just use all the time and love is the Tweed Brun et Rose. And you're gonna see this is another very well loved, cooler toned eye palette. And this is the one that I thought I would use today because I find it to be just a bit more versatile than the Mediterranean one. I feel like that one's very beautiful, but I feel like more people are going to gravitate towards this one. And it is an everyday eye look, but you also can glam it up a bit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and create a look using my favorite eye quad. I bet many of you are not surprised that that's the one that I picked. And I'm going to start with this beautiful tone right here. And I'm using Wayne Goss number 16 here. And I'm just going to place a little bit of that taupey color in that crease. Then I'm going to come over to this darker shade here and I'm going to add a little bit of that color towards that outer V and bring that up into the crease. Then I'm going to come in with this gorgeous kind of soft peachy pink color here. and I'm going to place that on the lid. This one's sort of the top coat, and it is so pretty. Do you see that? It is just gorgeous. So I'm focusing on that inner eye here and then pulling it to the iris, and I just love that shade so much. This just transforms this eye palette into something super special. Then I'm going to come in with this dark brown color here, and I'm going to start to run that close to the lash line. And then I'm coming up into this lighter shade, this kind of taupey one. I'm going to run the lighter one underneath my lash line here, just to kind of connect everything. Okay, then I'm going to tightline the upper lash line, and in 2022 they launched the Precision Eye Definers. This was sort of a relaunch. I think they disappeared and then they brought them back, the Le Crayon Yeux, and I really love these. And the ones that I love are Black Jade, really beautiful. I have it in Berry, and then my ultimate favorite is Blue Jean. So I'm going to pop on Blue Jean, add just a little bit of that blue into this eye look. I find that that sort of brightens up my lash line as well, but that is optional. I feel like this eye look looks fine just using no eyeliner at all, but those are my two ultimate favorite eye quads from 2022. Okay, I slightly tightlined the upper lash line with that blue, and then one of the mascaras that they launched this past year was the Noir Allure. And this is really cool because you pop it open just like that. And here is the wand, just like this. And I have to say, this was a surprise hit as well. I tend to like the brushes that are a bit more old school rather than the rubbery ones, but I actually really like this mascara, and I'm gonna go ahead and coat the lashes. So it really does lengthen your lashes here and really volumizes them. What I like is that I can get a very natural lash with this mascara, but I also can spend a bit more time and really coat it up and get a glam lash as well. But I think a lot of people might like this mascara because it's a great everyday mascara. It's like not over the top. It sort of makes my lashes a little bit more soft and feathery. Now, I am still a fan of Chanel Volume de Chanel. I still think that is one of the queen bee of mascaras, but this was a nice, pleasant surprise from Chanel. Okay, eyeballs are on. Really simple, easy, everyday eye look. And then I am going to go ahead and dust on some of their Le Beige. This is their Healthy Glow Sheer Powder. I have it in number 20. And I do like this one. I also like the loose powder. And I use just a little bit of powder, so I'm just going to kind of set everything here with that powder. Now, two other products that I wanted to mention are the single eyeshadow, and my favorite is in Talpa. And this is just the perfect one and done eye shade. It is really beautiful. I just love this shade so much. This is very much like my go-to eye look, and I love to use this single shadow with my either blue jean eyeliner or my marine eyeliner. So this is one that I wanted to give a shout out because it's just so easy and such a gorgeous cool toned shadow. Love that. And then a surprise hit from the holiday collection were these gorgeous eyeglosses. And these are a multi-use product. You can use these on your eyes, you can use it on your cheeks and on your lips. So, so pretty. But I really have been having so much fun with these eyeglosses, especially during the holiday. It just adds such a pretty finish to your eye look. Kind of put it on your cheeks. You can top your lipsticks with these. So this was a fun little discovery for me, and I was actually glad I picked them up. And then as far as a Chanel powder blush, I really love so many of them, but my most used and most worn, this is the one that I'm always going to take on vacation with me, is the Rose Bronze. And it is just what it's called, a nice rosy bronze color. And I just love this one. And I feel like a lot of people will look good in this particular shade. So it is neutral enough to go with any eye look. And this is what I consider my most neutral blush. The other one that I reach for a lot is the Rose Ekran. That again is going to be a bit more pinky, whereas I feel like the Rose Bronze is just a bit more neutral. And I am going to add just a little bit of this Rose Bronze in my eye look. I like to kind of tie everything together. I will either add bronzer or blush to my eye look just to bring everything together. Okay, for lips, I actually pulled out two oldies but goodies. I have pulled these two colors out recently and they've just been on heavy rotation. Now I did really enjoy many of the new launches this past year of the Chanel lipsticks. They had that X-Trait version. They have a couple of the new the Rouge Allure ones that I really did enjoy. But to be honest, I will often use my favorite lip liner. This one's in PIVOINE number 164. This is my favorite lip liner. Then I will use my favorite gloss from them. This is in 119. I believe it's Bourgeois, but I love this combination together. I also have several other of their lip glosses, but I have noticed that many of them are sold out. And I'm just curious if we're going to get a new launch of new shades this coming 2023. I hope so. I love their lip glosses, but I tend to be a bit more of a lip gloss girl, or I really like their original lipsticks. And my two favorite shades are Cecile and Mademoiselle. And I thought I would go ahead and do a lip swatch of all three combinations for you because these are the ones that I personally reach for the most. I'm going to start with my lip liner and my lip gloss combo. And this is PIVOINE with number 119 lip gloss. And here's a swatch of my favorite lipsticks. The top is Mademoiselle, sort of the perfect rose tone. Then we have Cecile, which is a little bit cooler, lighter pink mauve. Then we have my PIVOINE lip liner. And then here is the gloss in 119. It is just really pretty. I would call this more of a mauve toned color as well. So let me put on the classic Mademoiselle for you. And this is Mademoiselle. And then we're using Cecile. And this is the shade Cecile. This is their classic moisturizing lipstick. It's still amazing. I know that there's all these new formulations out there, but honestly, their classic lipsticks are just as good as they've ever been, and these are two of my favorites. And then of course we're going to end with fragrance of the day, and I love so many Chanel fragrances, but the two that come to mind is sort of my when in doubt fragrances. I will pull these two, and that is going to be the classic Chanel number 5, but in the Eau Premiere version. This is the more modern twist of number 5. I just find it to be beautiful. It still has those sparkly aldehydes. It's got that little champagne touch, but this has a little bit more warmth to it, as well as a touch of vanilla in here, and so it just feels a little bit more modern, but it still has that classic Chanel DNA in it. So this is my preferred number 5 version, but my ultimate favorite really is 1957. This is just a gorgeous soft floral. It is going to make me feel like $1,000,000. It has those sparkly aldehydes at the opening, so it feels like it has a little champagne touch to it, but it is a very gorgeous soft floral, and I just find this one to have the essence of Chanel in a bottle. This one is very soft, sophisticated, definitely a classy little scent here, and I just love it as a year-round scent. So these are two classic beauties in the Chanel realm. Okay guys, this is my full face of Chanel favorites. There was some 2022 launches in here, as well as some of the basics that have been around for quite some time that are just as amazing as they were back when they were launched. So as usual, I love to hear from you. What are your favorite Chanel products? What are the ones you cannot live without? List those down below in the comments. And I just want to take a moment to say happy holidays to everyone. We will be traveling, so I will not be loading up any content during that time. I will be enjoying time with my family, but I will be back before the end of the year, and I'm so excited for 2023. So happy holidays. Love you guys so much. You are amazing. I appreciate all your support, and I'm looking forward to 2023.